Welcome to the final word before Nicki Minaj releases her fifth studio album, Pink Friday 2. Thanks for joining me on the Barbology playlist today. Please like the video before we get started. In this conversation, we're going to lay out a guide for your first listens for Pink Friday 2. So please stay until the end so you guys don't miss anything. So let's start off with this. What questions do you ask yourself when listening to a Nicki Minaj album? What hardships, this is for me, my personal questions. What hardships or topics will she address and who will she address? And in my opinion, even though Nicki is a legendary hip hop artist, with the exception of her second album, Roman Reloaded, Nicki's albums feel more R&B to me. Would you say the same or a mix of genres? Anyway, keep listening because this point foreshadows a later point that I have coming. Since this is my first time following Nicki, like super closely during an album release, and because I want to talk to you guys about the album after it comes out, I created a 5-point rubric system to guide our conversations about the album so that we can understand it better together. And I want you to have a copy of this. So please feel free to take a screenshot. So let's break it down, okay? So there are 5 categories, as you guys can see: lyricism, storytelling, production and sonics, cohesion, connection to the era and rollout, and does it push boundaries, okay? So let's get into lyricism and storytelling. I'm confident in Nicki's ability. She's one of, to me, she is the best lyricist to ever touch a pen ever since the Flintstones era. And I appreciate, so I'm confident in her ability to write amazing lyrics, and I appreciate deep and introspective songs like All Things Go. So I'm also going to cover storytelling in this category of lyricism, right? So how she's going to tell a story, how she's going to put it together. Songs like I Lied, All Things Go, Last Time I Saw You. I Lied was my favorite on the Pink Print when it came out. But sometimes those songs are too deep to me to want to listen and consume on a daily basis, because it took me years to understand how to enjoy these deep songs without internalizing the feelings that those songs embody. However, Nicki is the best lyricist to ever live, and she's very meticulous. So I'm confident that she'll deliver, and I'm curious about, and I do hope that Nicki can address her hardships along with her achievements in the last 5 years. What specific situations do you hope Nicki will address in the album? Next category is production and sonics. So production is so important to me because it's your first impression of a song. If I don't like the beat of a song, it's gonna be hard for me to want to hear that song. I love the production on songs like You the Boss, Sir, Transformer, but not really like Money with Young Thug and the Boys. It's not really smooth to me. So WTF by Nicki and Young Boy is a beautiful song with a great message, but the vibe of the song for me was a bit low and melancholy, and I would like to feel high and super engaged, like how Roman Reloaded makes us feel, because it's a majority a pop album. But that does not mean I'm asking for pop music, okay? Let's be clear. So for the rubric, this one sheet is for the full album and not each song individually, although I might develop a bigger doc for myself. So after you finish listening to the album, you'll rate each category from 1 through 5, 5 being the best rating. So if you feel like her lyricism was superb, you're going to put a 5, okay? Now, let's see what else. All right, cool. Y'all still here with me? All right, good. Please like the video. Okay, so Nicki. Okay, so let's move on to the next category, cohesion. How cohesive is the album? Nicki has been saying this album is a full circle moment, so I'm looking forward to her personal life story and career, especially her experiences musically. I hope the tracks flow together well and that it feels like you're listening to a story, and even one with twists and turns. I called the Pink Print an emotional roller coaster because it has a lot of low moments and a lot of high moments, but it felt like a whole pizza when I was done. Now, for the next category, connection to the era and rollout. Because this album is called Pink Friday 2, it has been marketed as a full circle moment and like a sort of a sequel to Nicki's first album, Pink Friday. And so does it actually achieve that? Was it actually a full circle moment? Did the artist accomplish what they set out to do? Was the content in the album cohesive and did it match up with the vibe of the era that Nicki has been giving visually in her promo leading up to the album, in her marketing strategy, digital strategy? I'm going to be looking to all of that, although all of that is still a bit early to tell, even if the album is out, because it's an era, right? Like, where I'm still looking at the rollout when it comes to a tour and all that stuff. Next category, does the album push boundaries? In preparation for this video, I looked up like how people critique albums and stuff like that so I could get like a really well-rounded view. And so I read this article on Reddit that talked about like pushing boundaries. And so they were saying like in order for an album to truly be great, it has to even just slightly do something new. It needs to push forth a new idea or blend two genres into one. And in my previous point in the beginning of the video, I foreshadowed this here. And I said that like Nicki's albums to me, even though she's a hip hop artist, gives very R&B like. Specifically, I would say Pink Friday 2, as well as the Pink Print, honestly, and even some of Queen. So yeah, a Nicki Minaj album can be genre bending, like Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded, where it was a mainly pop album. The Re-Up, right, which was a sequel to that album, which was more hip hop leaning. Songs like last time, sorry, not last time I saw you, but The Night Is Still Young, Super Bass, Starships are a part of the Pink Print for female rap, and why every contemporary female rapper makes an attempt to cross over with a pop rap song. Okay, so this is an example of Nicki pushing boundaries not only for the business of female rap, but also for the sound. And we see all these other girls trying to do exactly what she did. So, what boundaries in hip hop and for female rap will Pink Friday 2 dismantle? I think I have already an idea, but I definitely want to know yours. So that's pretty much the rubric right there. So feel free to take a screenshot of it. I might include a link in the comments to the rubric where you can like download it, because I definitely want you guys to fill this out because I will use it in my first video to talk about the album. Okay. So did this is not included in the rubric, but I'm just gonna bring it up. Did the album meet your expectations? A lot of times, especially in our fan base, we talk about not having expectations, but for me personally, I'm gonna say that I have expectations of it being great because number one, in all these categories that I lay out, Nicki is pretty good with all of them. So when I laid it out, I was like, you know what? I'm actually very confident in Nicki's ability to knock this out of the park. However, Nicki has been hyping up this album so much on social media, and every time she posts something says it's going to be the best album of all time or of all her albums combined, it only raises my expectations. So I'm going to be very, very honest with you guys, and I just want us to be able to have an objective conversation on an album without getting in your feelings. If you want to, if you're going to be mad about me expressing a critique, please, like stay on Twitter with that. Like, let's really, any critique that any of us have of the album or of Nicki's work does not mean that we don't love her and that we don't support her. We take in art just like she makes the art, and we either like it or love it or critique it, and it's totally fine. So yeah, I want to know if it's going to match up with my expectations. Is it going to match up with your expectations? It's not a bad thing to have expectations because Nicki has her own expectations of what her performance will be. So all in all, I want you guys to like take time off of social media. I want you guys to be ready for the love and the hate and take time off to digest the album yourself. Even if Nicki is tweeting, understand that it's her job to promote her work, and we don't have to read or respond to every tweet in the moment. So I suggest that from the moment you're done listening to this video, to listen to every Nicki Minaj project there is. And I'd say to hopefully do 3 main listens of the album before you even come up with your own, opinions on it. Okay, so you might not hear from me for a little while after the album is out so that I can stay to myself and make my own opinion. So please make sure you guys subscribe and like the video, but also turn on the notification bell so that y'all get notified as soon as I upload an album reaction or whatever it is that I'm going to do on it. And here's some questions that I want you guys to answer in the comments. I want to know, how do you plan to digest the album after the first night? How long after the album is released will you make your final opinion on it? I am going to try to stay off of social media and just take my own notes, but I want to know what you are going to do. Are you going to be on social media? Are you going to do your own reactions? Let me know. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. This is going to be so exciting. So please, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so y'all get notified as soon as I drop the next video.